So we talked about Disney World for the last
4 weeks.
4 out of 5 weeks because we did have that camping in there. So now we're going to get back to our favorite thing.
Disney Cruise Line.
Yay! Sadly, we still don't know when Disney is going to start sailing again. As of right now, they're canceled through June.
Yep, and there's a lot of movement going on as far as Florida is concerned. The governor of Florida is actually suing the CDC to reopen the cruise industry. But we'll see how that goes.
And we don't know if our cruise is going to happen in November because it would require taking the Wonder over to the West Coast and then bringing it back if there's no other cruises happening, and we just don't know.
Yep, there's a lot of unknowns, so we'll see what happens.
For now, though, we're going to talk about cruising before all of this, a little over a year ago, and why we sail with Disney.
Yep.
There are lots of cruise lines out there.
Absolutely.
You've sailed once.
Yep, I sailed on Carnival.
And I've looked at a lot of cruises with other cruise lines, but we've never done anything as a family that wasn't Disney. And you may be wondering, well, why?
And we're going to give you our top 8 reasons why we sail with Disney Cruise Line. So, you want to start us off?
Yeah, number 1 is the magic of Disney, not the ship.
No, not the Disney magic.
No. So when you go into a Disney park and onto a Disney ship, there's just that special feel to it. There's something magical. So when as soon as I step onto that ship, they're announcing your family, and even if nobody else is there clapping for you besides those cast members, it's still, they're welcoming you onto the ship. They are, excited to see you.
Yeah,
and it's just...
It's just that feeling, bless you, it's that feeling of magic, of, hey, I'm about to have a really great vacation. I've just gone through security. I've gone through the hassle of everything, waiting to get on board with anticipation, and then actually getting on the ship is just, it's amazing.
Yeah. And so we've been on all 4 ships, but even when it was a ship that we hadn't been on before, it was just you felt, this is going to sound cheesy, but it feels like you're coming home to Disney again, It really does. I love the feeling, that holding back happy tears feeling when you get on the ship.
Yeah, it's really fun. It really is. The number 2 reason is, and I know we've talked about this multiple times in our vlogs, but the level of service that we receive on Disney cruises. It really is unparalleled, from the rotational dining, having your dining crew rotate with you, them anticipating what drinks you're going to want, having that conversation. I mean, a testimony to that is our service crew, whether it's our server or assistant server, the head server, doesn't really matter if we see them around the ship, because they don't just work in the main dining rooms, they also work around at cabanas or other places. If they see us, they'll always come over and say hi, even if we're not in their section. They'll take that extra time out of their day to come see us. And really interact with Christian and Isabella, so that kind of thing. And then also the stateroom host or hostess, they are always there. Heck, they even sometimes see us, and if they're right by our room, they'll open our door for us. Or if the kids are running ahead of us, they'll see them, they'll say hi to them, they will interact with them, and then they'll open the door for them.
Or if we're coming back to the room and the kids aren't with us, they'll be like, hey, where's Christian?
Kids?
Where's Bella?
Yeah. Even if they're cleaning another room or dealing with another room, they see you and they interact with you. They really do go that above and beyond.
And not just your service team either. All of the cast members around the ship, they'll all smile and say hello. Cast members at guest services, if you need something, we went. I went to guest services to get you an ibuprofen, and I had Bella with me, and it was her first cruise. She was teeny tiny, okay. And one of the officers, I don't know what their job was, but she happened to be there, and she went back and she came and gave Bella a little Donald Tsum Tsum. You know,
it was just like, here you go.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, that extra magic is really what drives us to want to sail with them. Like that next level of service, that personal feeling. I mean, you kind of hit on it with the magic of Disney, but we really feel like we're coming home when we're coming back out off of one of our excursions, or just coming out from one of the ports. Like our service team will see us, or they'll welcome us back onto the ship. It's just magical.
They'll ask how your day was. You know, what did you do? You know, where'd you go?
They'll have those conversations with us at dinner. They'll be like, they'll interact with the kids. They'll be like, hey, what was your favorite part of Castaway Cay or Nassau?
Yeah, and because they've been there so many times, they don't get off the ship every time, but when they do get off, you know, they have their places that they like to go to, and you know, they'll give recommendations on where they think.
The night before, they'll ask you, hey, what's your plan for Nassau tomorrow? And they'll give that extra little, hey, this is what we've done in the past. I mean, it's that level of service that we just really, really enjoy. And anybody that's like, oh, well, Disney is too expensive. Well, I mean, if you look at the level of service that you're receiving
and everything that's
included, it's actually not that expensive. So
it's not.
It's kind of one of those give and take kind of things. So we could talk for hours on the level of service and the reasons why the level of service is off the charts. I mean, to the point where almost every single time not almost every single time we sail, we end up increasing our gratuities for our dining room staff and our stateroom host typically. So, but
all right. So number 3 is a big one for the kids, and so because of that, a big one for us. It's the youth clubs. Now, I've done a lot of research into other cruise lines and what they have to offer. And all of the cruise lines that do offer family cruises have some sort of youth club. However, some cruise lines will only have those youth clubs open if there's enough kids on the ship, or some, are only open certain hours. They're not all free. Some after a certain time. I think when I was looking at Royal, I think some of theirs for Christian's age group closes at 10 o'clock. And so, 10 o'clock for being free. And then after that, it's babysitting type thing, and you have to pay for it. So each of the ships has 4, if you don't count the nursery, 4 youth clubs, okay? They've got the Oceaneer Club and Lab, which are for ages 3 to 12. Edge, which is for 11 to 14, and then Vibe is 14 to 17. Hey, look at me, I remember the ages. Christian loves the club and the lab because he goes over there to play video games, depending on what ship we're on.
Definitely.
Or to do crafts. So, we've been on all 4 ships. He's been to all 4.
Yeah.
Well, okay. The Magic he's been to during open house.
Yeah.
Because he was 1 when we sailed on Magic, so he was not old enough to go there. He loves them all.
He does. And it's also about how much you can do. There's slides in the club, on the Wonder and the Magic.
Yes, there's a Slinky Dog slide.
The Slinky Dog slide. But there's also on the bigger ships, the Dream and the Fantasy, they've got the Star Wars room that Christian loves to go play in. They have tablets galore running around there that are free for the kids to utilize. Just all the stuff that he can do, and the fact that it's, again, included. The hours are really great. You might encounter a time where the club is closed for open house, or has open house, so secure programming moves over to Oceaneer Lab.
Yeah, but
But I mean,
go over and
Christian has fun
watch
with that.
A movie or play on the tablet or whatever. Bella loved going to open house last
Mhm.
year.
She's gonna love it when
next time we
you go.
sail, she'll be old enough to go
Mhm.
to the club. There's really cool rooms. You said Star Wars. There's most of the ships have Marvel. The Dream doesn't, but
No, but
there's Toy Story. The Wonder has Frozen. There's Disney Junior. There's Pixie Hollow on a couple of the ships.
yeah,
They all have Toy Story, but only the Magic and the Wonder have the slide.
yeah.
And then in the lab, sometimes they do science projects. They do like anyone can cook cookies.
Mm-hmm.
There were way too many people
There
while we
were.
were on the ship to do that. I mean, they had you bring in extra tables and chairs.
Yeah. I mean, they just have all kinds of fun things for kids to do, and I think the biggest thing is that it's included.
Yeah.
And it's a really great way for the kids to kind of do their own thing, meet some forever friends maybe, or at least ones that they can play with on their own.
And so the club is good for us because we can send the kids there
Mhm.
when, we want our one night of polo or whatever. But Christian's, every night he's finished his dinner. Mom, can I go to the
Mhm.
club? Can you take me to the club? So when he's 8, I can't wait to just send him out there by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Go to
Absolutely.
the club. Bye.
Go away.
But, and then he's gone to open house at Edge and Vibe before. Edge there's a lot of video games.
Yeah.
Board games.
Yeah.
I think sometimes they go invade Vibe.
Mm.
And I think sometimes they might go to the sports deck. I haven't really looked at their activities too much just because
Christian's
he's
not
not
there
old
yet.
enough. But, we're in 4 years. He
Yeah.
will be going to Edge because at that point he'll probably be like, yeah, the club's too
Yeah.
young for me. And then Edge is super cool. It's for the teens. On the 2 bigger ships, they have their own kind of little pool
Mm-hmm.
out as part of the club. They've got video games. I think they got foosball. Yeah, on the bigger ships, it's on deck 5, all the way to front ship, and then on the smaller ships, it's up in
The second funnel.
yeah, where on the bigger ships, that's Edge is up in the funnel.
Mm-hmm.
So, youth clubs are super cool.
Yep.
There is an option for the little cruisers who aren't old enough to go to the club in the lab. There's, I think, they changed the name on all the ships now to It's a Small World Nursery. Now, the nursery is not included. I think it's like $9 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And before the cruise, you can book, I think, up to 18 hours for the cruise online. So, we would take Bella, like, I
Once
think
or
twice on the last one. We had her go when we were at Polo, and then we had one of the sea days where she went for a couple hours, we had Christian go to the club, and that's when we did our sit-down lunch.
Mm-hmm.
It's great, they're real good with the kids. They tell you exactly when they napped, when they ate, how many diaper changes they had. They'll send you a message in the Navigator app and to your Wave phone if, they're fussy, if they need you to come pick your child up.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had that.
No.
Never actually had to go pick them up, but
they're really good. Like, they won't call you unless, like, it's an absolute, like, they've tried for a good amount of time to try and calm them down or soothe them, and they just won't take it. So
yeah. Bella had a really good time at the nursery, but she was 1.5 the last time we were on the ships. The one time Christian did not like the nursery, he was 2.5 on the Wonder, and he was like, "This is for babies. I don't want to be here." Yeah. He was potty trained. He was able to use the pools, but he wasn't 3 yet, so he couldn't go to the club. And he did not enjoy the nursery that time.
Yeah.
He's not wrong. It was for babies.
True.
But
yeah. The youth clubs are definitely a big plus for us.
Yeah.
The next thing that we enjoy is all the things that are included.
Yeah, we have done a vlog about it.
Yeah, we
We'll
have,
link it.
and there's so much that you can do that's included in your cruise fare. There's honestly too much to list, and we'll link
Go
the
check out that video. But food, drinks, activities,
entertainment,
characters, so much stuff, fireworks, the clubs, like we said,
they've got the Goofy Golf on the big ships up on the top deck. They've got the sports deck.
So, basketball, foosball, ping pong.
I think that's all.
They got soccer balls up there, I think.
Yeah. But, I mean, on the bigger ships, the Aqueduct, the water slide on the Magic, the water slide on the Wonder, I mean, all of these things are all included.
The soft serve, the drink, the beverage station, that's a big one because most cruise lines, you can't just go get a drink whenever you want.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you can unless it's closed, but, when sailing does start again, we've talked about how, like, the soft serve and the beverage station, they're probably going to have shortened hours because the beverage station was open 24 hours and you could just go get your drink. But at least for a while, they're going to have someone standing there filling your cup. So I think right before they stopped sailing, it was like 5 a.m. to like 11 at night or something. But that is fine for, going up and getting a drink of whatever. And it's included.
Yeah.
Also included is most of room service.
That's true, yeah.
So we've had wings, chicken tenders,
baked mac and cheese,
burgers, hot dogs,
sandwiches,
Mickey bars,
pizzas,
Uncrustables,
all kinds of things. Like it's all included. So
the only thing that isn't included is like bottled drinks and packaged candy and stuff like that. So I mean, yeah. So definitely check out the our video that was just about what's included because that was just a brief overview.
Yeah, there's just so much that we could talk for a long time about it, just like with why the service. So yeah, in the interest of time, we'll move on.
So next is characters. All right. Everybody loves Mickey Mouse, right? I was talking to Bella today about our trip to Disney World and how she's going to say hi to Mickey and Minnie and Donald and Daisy. She was like listing all the characters that she wants to see. And on the ship, you can see characters who, again, be like when cruising comes back, when we do have, official word from Disney. One, you'll probably already know if you care. As soon as it posts on the internet, everyone's going to be all over it. But, we'll do a video about it.
Absolutely.
But there's characters in normal times, roaming the halls. There's scheduled character meet and greets. There's ticketed meet and greets, but they're all included.
And just like with the service team, they'll interact with your kids if they're like en route to something or just walking around. Like the princesses will sometimes just be walking around and they'll have full-on conversations with your kids. Mickey will sometimes like walk up on a family and hold the hand of a little kid and walk with them. Or like we saw Mickey in his track gear on deck 4 at one time and he went running with a couple of kids. So I mean, and we saw Goofy one time
in his pajamas.
So I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that that will happen with the characters. So
yeah. So the next one is value. So we talked about how some people, it's so expensive. So we talked about all that's included. Well, we like what's included.
Yeah.
But all that's included, and like there's just so many things to do.
Yeah.
If you look at the Navigator, there's character meet and greets, activities, trivia, like so much stuff. There's no way you could do everything. And because of that, the port adventures that they offer stuff to do on sea days,
Yeah. And the backup plans for if they can't dock, like we had the experience where they weren't able to dock at Castaway Cay, so they had to immediately shift into the backup plans of what are we going to do? How are we going to run the 5K? What are we going to do with an entire entire ship that wasn't planning on having a sea day, but now we have to have a sea day. So just all the stuff that they do there.
Yeah. And there's so much stuff you could do, or you could just sit and do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's your cruise, do what you want. You could, like, all day go, do as many activities as you could,
mm-hmm.
or you can just hang out, and there's value in both of those options.
Relaxing while on vacation, yeah.
I'm not very good at that.
Yeah. The next one, second to last, number 7, is the cleanliness of the ship. We've said it before, and we'll continue to say it. There is not one moment that we don't see someone in some capacity cleaning. The janitorial team is cleaning constantly, whether it's the banisters, the walls, the doors. They're cleaning all the time.
And then there's hand washing stations.
Mm-hmm.
When we cruised last year, there was one up by the quick service dining. There is hand washing stations at cabanas, except on the Dream.
Yeah.
They're always hand wipes. There's
Mm-hmm.
hand sanitizer. Again, this is all before, so we don't know what it's going to be like. We know that the CDC is going to make it so there's increased cleanliness requirements, but I don't think you can really go much further than what Disney was already doing.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. But the ships were always, like you said, someone's always cleaning. When I go out for my runs in the morning, they're hosing down the deck.
Mm-hmm.
I've made the same cast member have to move a few times. Yeah. But they're always cleaning, painting, hosing down the side of the ship when we're in port,
Yeah, they're just constantly doing something with it. So it's a really great feeling. Like you feel safe. So especially now. So
the last one is it's addicting.
it really is.
We had our second Disney cruise booked before we even had taken our first Disney cruise.
Mm-hmm.
Because we knew we were going to like it, and then once we cruised, we fell in love with it, and so our first cruise was in August of 2015.
And our second one was in February of 2016.
So the three of us and Christian have taken 8. Bella has taken 3.
Yep.
If cruising had not been canceled, we would have taken our 9th and 4th in February. We've done back-to-back cruises. Last year we did the Dream and the Wonder with a few days in between from 2 different ports in 2 different states.
Yeah.
We love cruising with Disney, as you can tell. We have
reasons why. There's these 8 main wave top topics as to why we love Disney so much, but there's so much more that goes into it.
Yeah. So there are people who, they're like, oh, this is our first cruise, and well, you're either going to fall in love with it and want to do it again and again, or you're going to find out that cruising is just not for you.
Yeah.
And there are both.
Yeah.
We love it. The kids love it.
They absolutely love it.
Bella doesn't really remember it from last year.
No.
But I think since Christian was like 2, he will talk about cruises. When cruising was first, canceled last year, he was like, I miss cruising. I want to go on a cruise again. When our cruise is going to start again.
Yeah.
Just like keeping tabs on stuff.
And leading up to our Dream and Wonder cruises last year, we were on your guys' walks and on our weekend walks, we would just talk about what we were going to do, what we were going to order, referring back to previous cruises that we had, because all the ships are relatively similar, minus like one main dining room. But I mean, it's just so much fun to plan. You're a planning person, so
I'm very planning. He'd be like, Mommy, let's talk about our room on the Fantasy 2 cruises ago.
It's fun to get him involved, and Isabella will get involved too as we as she gets older and we keep
once she
cruising,
is able to remember them more.
Yep.
But yeah.
It's super addicting.
Our cruise gets so bad. But I want our cruise to happen in November, but there's this part of me that it's just set in that it's not gonna happen, and we're just gonna have to.
We're just gonna have to
move
book
it again.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to book it another one for August or
I really do want to do
September.
the handbook.
I know, and it'll happen eventually. But August of September of 22 is probably going to be when we'll go.
Yeah, I just can't wait till they officially say yes, we're cruising again.
Mm-hmm. And then it'll be good because I mean you got a lot of people that really want to get back to cruising. So
Yeah. Well, those are our reasons why we sail just with Disney Cruise Line.
Yep.
I don't know what we're going to talk about next week.
We never do.
Sometimes we do.
If it's a series, these are just one-offs.
But we'll figure something out, and I'm sure we'll entertain you in some way.
Shape or form. Yeah. But until next week, what do you want to tell them?
Thank you for watching. Give us a like, subscribe, tell your friends. Thank you. Bye.